Welcome to the Toffee Blue, your source for all things Everton, and welcome to the live match reaction to Brighton 0, Everton 0. How about that? That was entertaining 90 minutes of your life, wasn't it? Absolutely brilliant stuff, absolutely scintillating. I've had to have pegs in my eyes for the second half to get through that one, guys. How did you manage to sustain yourself through the whole 90 minutes there, Paul? Drink? Something stronger?
No, it's Monday night, so I couldn't let myself crack open a beer or anything. Truthfully, I just turned it on mute and started listening to something else. Honestly, just
That sounds like
lost interest.
sounds like a pretty effective method to go about it.
I mean,
Uh,
I had it on the telly, but I'd stopped listening to the commentary, and I wasn't like riveted. I wasn't constantly looking at the game. Like 2-3 minutes could pass by, and I'd barely even look up because I just knew nothing was happening. So yeah, it was what I predicted, basically what I thought the game was going to be in the pre-match when I said it's just going to be so boring and such a dog of a game. And it was even 0-0, like as predicted. And he had one shot on target, which was James. Near the end, he just managed to poke a ball towards the goal. It wasn't even a proper shot. It just a moment where he forced the goalkeeper to stick his hand out and put the ball out wide for the corner. But as much as was horrible to watch, and as downbeat as everyone will probably be feeling, what could you really expect? We were playing with half a team. We had a bench full of players who are not long out of school. Genuinely, Brighton should be coming away from that game absolutely kicking themselves that they've not put us to the sword. That's an indictment of how poor Brighton are as a side and how much they've lacked goals. The fact that they just couldn't score past us and they couldn't take all 3 points because we were so poor, and it was to be expected as well.
yeah, I mean, I understand all the injuries, and we were, obviously down to the bare bones. But could we not have done a bit better than that? Surely, I've seen David Moyes' side at Everton, and I know you aren't a fan of that sort of era, but there's David Moyes' sides with less quality than that I've seen when we've had injury crisis, and they've given more than that. They didn't even try.
I wouldn't tar every player with that brush. I'm not.
No,
There were a couple of players out there tonight who might as well have not even been there. We'll come to them in a minute. But there were some who were trying hard, and there were one or two who will single out as saying he had a good game there. I thought Coleman did well, considering Coleman got up the line as often as he could and put in some really good tackles, made a few interceptions, and tried to link up with players when he could. Rodriguez definitely put a shift in. He wasn't able to get anywhere as close to the goal as he normally would like to. He had to basically drop deep all game and contribute on the defensive side of it and in the midfield because the two centre mids were just shocking as we predicted. So Rodriguez did well, and I'd say Godfrey as well.
Yeah.
But you've come to expect that from Godfrey. He always has a good, consistent level of performance where you never come out of it thinking he did poorly. Godfrey was just Godfrey, essentially. He ran his heart out. He was where he needed to be. He didn't do anything wrong. So, yeah, there are a couple of players who can come off the pitch there with their head held high, but there's just a few other players who would just absolutely stuck the gaff out, and they don't deserve to be anywhere near the team once all the injuries heal.
Not naming names, but your best mate turned in a classic stinker of a performance, didn't he?
He wasn't the worst one, but it was just that's what I was saying in the pre-match when we were on with Callum. He was just a non-entity, wasn't he? When he plays as a proper centre mid, as in the number 8 role, whenever he's in the centre circle, in and around that area, he's just useless. He doesn't do anything. He doesn't hold the ball particularly well. He's not fast. He can't press. He doesn't buy his time. He doesn't draw free kicks. He doesn't loft balls over the top and play the striker through. He doesn't tackle anybody. He's not a old-fashioned centre midfielder in any sense. The only use he's got is as a number 10, and he's not even that good at that these days. He has more bad games than good, even in his best position. So he was really poor. Davis, I thought, was largely poor as well, but I will say, I thought when he dropped back into the number 6 role, after we had to rejig the formation when Mina went off injured and Davis dropped deep in front of the back four, I thought Davis did better then it is more natural position. So I'll give Davis a pass. I'll come on to Iwobi. I thought Richarlison, I know he had no service, but Richarlison didn't do anywhere near enough for me.
No, he didn't.
I know I was left on his own a lot, and he didn't really have any balls to run onto, but he just didn't cause enough problems for Brighton's back line. He didn't get up close to people. He didn't draw enough free kicks. He didn't carry the ball into the corner and win any corner kicks or draw his marker away and release someone else. He didn't do enough. And the worst player for me, maybe not everyone will agree, but Mr. I want to play in my best position. He came on for half an hour against a dire team in his favourite position, number 10. And Alex Iwobi didn't do a tap. Mate, he was absolutely
every single
garbage.
time. Every single time he got the ball, it was bouncing off of one of his limbs and going out or something.
Yeah, mate, trampoline shins. And that sitter he missed right at the end. How he's not even got that on target. Mate, he's useless. I don't want to swear, mate, but he's a useless see you next Tuesday. Do you know what I mean? I'm fed up with him. I haven't really gone in on him as much as I have on other players this season. I'm normally not quite as scathing about him, but oh my God, mate, just give him away in the summer. I've had enough of him now. The attitude on him the other week when he was coming out saying, basically telling Carlo Ancelotti where he wants to play in this team, and every time he's had a chance to play in that position subsequently, he's just stunk the gaff out and done nothing. And tonight was the worst time. He had half an hour against Brighton, who are really, really poor in a game that was begging for some creativity, some positivity, a chance for him to really go out and make a difference. And it's not even like he was trying things and they weren't coming off. As you said, he couldn't even control the ball majority of the time. And then missing that set right at the end just capped it off. It's just get rid of him. He's crap. He doesn't deserve to be here, as far as I'm concerned.
No, honestly,
shouldn't have got out. Shouldn't have got out of his tracksuit. Honestly, that really pissed me off. That I thought when he was coming on, I thought, right, Iwobi will get up now and he'll give Richarlison someone to link up with, and hopefully he'll ease the workload on James Rodriguez, and maybe he'll be there for Sigurdsson to pick out a pass to. And it's like he wasn't even there. He just ran around like a headless chicken.
That's what he is. That's exactly what he is.
Yeah, an headless chicken. And I'm just like, mate, you've had your chance now, and every time you've failed. You can't play on the wing. You're not a good winger on the left or the right. You can't play as a wing back, really. We're not going to use you in that role anyway because we're not looking to play wing backs long term. You've asked about playing as a number 10, and every time you've been tried as a number 10, you've done nothing, essentially. And tonight, you were actually terrible. You weren't just anonymous. You were actually bad. Like, you stood out for being crap. And I've just get rid of him. He's another one who can just see hasta la vista to him in the summer. He's come here from Arsenal, and I think he deserves to be in the brackets of absolutely crap by money spent down the toilet, alongside the likes of Tosin and Balassi and God knows who else. I put him in that bracket now after tonight. Just a flop player.
Yeah, he's an absolute flop player with a flop's attitude as well, by the way.
Yeah.
Michael Johnston says, most open season ever in the Premier League history, and we've bottled it. Yeah, I will go as far as to say that.
Yeah, because I know certain things have gone against us that we can't help, like the injuries, and there's been some games here and there where just little tiny things have got dropped the other team's way that have lost us the game. But there's no reason we should be finishing outside the top 7 with the team we've got. We really shouldn't. We should be finishing in the top 7 with the manager we've got and the players that we've got. And if we don't finish in the top 7, then the season's a failure. As far as failure is a strong word, but it can't be classed as a success.
It's not a strong word. It's a failure. That was the remit at the start of the season, was Europe in any capacity. If we don't get it, it's a failure.
I suppose. Yeah, maybe I'm trying to dress it up, but I wanted Europe, and I was willing to accept Europe, even if it was just that Conference League thing that's starting up. I was willing to have that and say, right, that's a pass grade. If we get that, then we can say the season.
That is for me
success. Yeah,
I think that's acceptable. Yeah, but no Europe is not acceptable.
No, it's all on it's all on Tottenham now, isn't it? It's shit or bust against Tottenham. If we don't win that Tottenham game, then Europe's
We're in the
gone.
mud.
Absolutely, yeah, we're in the mud. And even if we do get a good result against Tottenham, we've got to follow that up with good results in the weeks afterwards. But the season's just it's circling the drain, isn't it? And it's going down the pan. And it's just, can we just get to the end of May now, please? I want to just do without football for a couple of months and don't come back until the world's back to normal. I don't want to watch any football matches between now and the end of the season that don't involve Everton, because I'm just fed up of it in general, and I'm probably going to struggle to watch Everton games between now and the end of the season because I'm sick of watching this crap boring Everton side in empty stadiums.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I'm getting to the same point where I'm really struggling for the energy to watch this stuff. I've got better things to be doing with my life than me investing as much time as we do in, players who, you talk about injuries. Yes, we've got a lot of injuries. Other teams have got a lot of injuries, but you can't injure attitude.
No. Too many of them have got crap attitudes. Some of them, I think, get it and want to try hard for Ancelotti and are winners, and they've got the trophy cabinets to back that up. The likes of Rodriguez, the likes of Alan. I think Tokore's been a cracking buy, and he's someone we can build around. I think there's a couple of youngsters who definitely have proven that they belong as part of the future. There's too many though, where the likes of Iwobi, the likes of Sigurdsson, the likes of I'd even
Bernard.
I'd throw Bernard in there. I don't think he's got an attitude problem necessarily, but he's just not good enough and he doesn't belong here.
Not cut out for this league.
No, Joshua King, you'd have to put him in there now because he's not going to do anything between now and the end of the season. You wouldn't think. There's just, this squad is just, there's so many players in this team that are just
Crabs FC, isn't it?
Crabs FC, and it goes back to that thing. I had this a lot under Martinez, where you think, I actually don't like this team. Like, I support this club, but I don't like this squad of players. I don't like these people that we're putting out wearing the shirt. They're not my type of. They're not the type of people who I look at and I want to get behind them. I don't want to cheer for them. If you do something good in a game, I don't want to sing your name. I don't want to cheer for you. I don't want to say, "Get in, lad. Well done, Lon," because you don't care. You're doing it for yourself, even when you do play well. You're not doing it for the supporters. You're not doing it for your manager. You're not even doing it for your own personal pride.
There's no personal pride in some of these players, I don't think. Certainly not in Gylfi Sigurdsson, I don't think. I think he's a player. He seems to sometimes lift his performance when there's fans behind him, I think, but you can't just do it when there's fans in the ground. You've got to have some kind of professional standard.
There's too many players who we just need to get rid of. We could say it all night, couldn't we? Players who have got absolutely no future at a club that wants to go on like Everton want to. They don't belong in a top 6 Premier League team. They probably don't even belong in a top half Premier League team, because the way we're going, we're going to struggle to finish in the top half. Never mind get in the European places. So just put this game behind us. I was watching a little bit of that interview that Seamus was doing there on Sky, and he was trying to dress it up, and I ended up turning it off when he said, "Oh, against a team like Brighton, who are these word for word, this is what he said." By the way, for anyone who's not seen it, I've just watched it a couple of minutes ago. He said, "Brighton are a fantastic side who are very well coached, and maybe it's not a bad point, a point away from home." Seamus, mate, who are you kidding? Come on, don't be stupid. He genuinely said that, mate. Go and watch the interview. He genuinely said that. It's like, who you?
Do you know what team you're captain, mate?
I know.
Oh my God. You should be stripped of the captain's armband for saying something like that.
Oh, let's just put this night behind us, put this season behind us ASAP, please, because I'm fed up of it now. I'm just, as you said, I haven't got the energy to even get really angry, because you're just apathetic now. It's just depressing.
I agree with what you said there. I can't identify with a lot of these players.
No. You just look at them and you think, you look at them and you think, if I was around you day to day, if I was a footballer, or if you were doing my job, if you worked in my job with me, type thing. Let's say if we were both builders, or we were both, we both worked in an office, so we worked in a shop, and you had this sort of attitude that you in our works that you display when you're out on the football pitch, I'd want to hit you. genuinely. Or
No,
I'd want to just
one of them. Put it this way: I wouldn't be going for a pint after work.
No, the type of as I imagine everyone can identify with this. There's always that person in in a job, isn't there, where you think, why are they even here? Why should I bust my bum? Why should I work really hard and try and do the best job I possibly can do when there's someone like that over there who clearly isn't bothered if he comes in and does a good job, bad job, and different job, and just takes his money and goes home and acts like it's
Like
no
he
big
owns the
deal.
place.
Yeah, essentially, it's just so frustrating. You need to get look what happens over the park or um, somewhere at Barcelona when times were good. All teams that go on and kick and achieve things, it's when the fans really feel a connection with the players. They feel like the players are one of them, or they see things in the players that they can identify with. I love that fella's like fire because I'm a fiery person and I'd be doing what he's doing if I was out there on the pitch. Or I love that fella's cuteness. Like if I was playing football with my mates in Sunday League, I'd be wanting to try all that stuff. Do you know what I mean? You look at some of these players and you think, what is even going through his head when he's on the football pitch? Why would he do a pass like that? Why would he put like his defender under pressure? Do you know what I mean? The amount of times I saw us just trying to do these little cute back pass balls in and around our own box when we're trying to get the ball clear, instead of just looking around and panicking and giving it back to me. It's just passing the buck is essentially what I'm trying to say. There's too many players in the team who shake under pressure and want to pass the buck onto someone else. And that's the reason why we can't identify with them, because they're not players who are going to stand up and be counted when the going gets tough. The players who want to look for the easy way out all the time.
Yeah, I just don't see why it's worth wasting time watching some of these players. You know, like like you say, some of the players who are missing are really good players who I can identify with. You know, your Allens and your Ducourets and you know the other players, even some of the ones who were out there, your Godfreys and whatnot. I think there are some really good players here, but some of the other ones are just. I was saying in the pre-match, and I stand by what I said. We've got a top 6 quality first 11, but would have got a bottom 6 quality B team.
Yeah.
And we're probably 20th in the whole out of the whole league in terms of attitude in that B team as well. We've got B teamers who think they should be nailed on A teamers when they shouldn't even be C teamers.
If you're the likes of Anthony Gordon and you're getting basically told to go out on loan, you must be sitting in Preston, wherever he is, looking at the likes of Iwobi and Sigurdsson thinking, why is he in the pecking order over me? Why have I had to go out on loan whilst he's still at Finch Farm getting in the first team when he doesn't put in anywhere near as much effort as I do? And if I was out there on the pitch, I'd be making a far more meaningful contribution than he is. It must drive them insane.
We've seen Anthony Gordon come on, not necessarily pull any trees up, but he's certainly shown more purpose than some of them crabs.
Yeah, same as well. And it mentions what I said earlier on to him on the pre-stream, like the likes of Besic and all that, where he's not a good footballer, really, not for Premier League standards, but whatever he is, he's sat basically in the reserves because he's not in the registered team. He must sit there thinking, how can I not get a place in this registered team? How can I not get a squad number when the likes of them are getting in the team? Do you know what I mean? It
does make you wonder, like,
horrible.
Obviously, we watch Besic and he's not a great player, but
no,
from what I've seen, he always grafted.
Yeah,
it's like,
Evertonians won't
graft some of them.
Evertonians won't graft us before anything. You have to work hard. You have to look like you give a toss. You have to look like it hurts you when we lose. And there's too many of these players who are just happy to go there.
That's it. The players aren't hurt. Like, you know, even that day, James Coleman saying that a draw's a good result at Brighton. 0-0 draw at Brighton. Is he having a laugh?
I don't know, mate. We could be talking all night, couldn't we? And we could say it as many times as we want to say it in different ways. Just the team, the squad's not good enough overall. I am behind Ancelotti. I do think Ancelotti knows what he's doing long term. I do think Ancelotti's got a plan. And there are certain players who he is going to look to get rid of and bring them in with his own men to fit his vision. And I can't wait for us to get to the summer so we can start making those moves and we can start getting rid of these just idiots who don't belong here. And
the thing is, though, mate, if we don't get Europe, we might not be able to bring in his men.
Maybe. That's the sad thing, isn't it? Yeah. There's a couple of players who we're going to shift, and even if we've got the money to spend, Ancelotti got us Rodriguez, but it's not going to go. It's not going to get us every single player we're after. Not every player we want is going to agree to come just because he wants to work with Ancelotti. He's going to turn around and think, well, what can I actually achieve if I go to you? Because I don't want to just be going and playing for Everton and looking to finish 8th again, like you do every season.
It's just like that's what I mean. You need players to, we need to see tangible progress, and qualifying for Europe is the tangible progress we need. It's like it has to be done, and these players have just not got the desire for it. And this is the problem: is we are in a catch-22 where we're not getting into Europe because the players we've currently got have not got the hunger to get us into Europe.
Spot on. It was the same last season, mate. Europe was there for us again last season if we really wanted it. If we really wanted it and we were willing to put all our cards on the table and go for it, there was a very, very good chance we could have got it. And instead, we just limped to the end of the season and we finished with a whimper. And it looks like increasingly like we're going to do that again here. And it's just so annoying as a supporter because it's Groundhog Day.
It's so depressing, though, because it's worse this season because we started last year horrifically and, got out of trouble and then maybe had a shot at it. This year, we've been in the top 6 nearly the entire season.
I know.
We've been certainly in the top 8 all season. And now it's falling away with pissing it up the wall.
I hope we've got some big plans in the summer. I hope we've got some deals in the pipeline that are very close to being done. Yeah, we've got to be making major waves in the summer. Hopefully, we have got some deals that we're working on right now, and finishing 7th or 8th won't be the deciding factor. Essentially, I hope that we've got some transfer and players who are coming in who are not going to turn around and change their mind about coming if we end up finishing outside of Europe. We need to be getting these deals locked in now so we can get them in early and then go again straight away next season when the season starts. We can't be having a slow build. We need to be starting next season like we started this season, but we need to carry it on. And we're not going to be able to do that just with this squad again.
No, well, there's players in the squad who I thought could get by as a backup. But, when you have an injury crisis and you have to call on these players, you clearly can't count on some of them. And you need to have your reserve players don't have to be world beaters. They just need to be grafters.
They need to have a consistent level of performance where you know what you're going to get out of them. If we put him in, we know if he's going to give us a 6 or a 7 out of 10. We know if he's going to give us a 4 or a 5. But at least if we know what he's going to give us, we can plan around it. We can't be having players who come in and give us a 7 or 8 and then give us a 2 the week after, and then give us a 3 the week after that, and then a 4 the week after that, then a 2 again, and then maybe a 7 somewhere down the line again, like a Wobie or like Sigurdsson. We can't be having that. Players like that don't belong in a top half side, and they don't belong at a club the size of Everton, because we're a big club, a bigger club than the likes of Leicester. I don't care what anyone says. We are bigger than Leicester.
West Ham.
Leicester and West Ham. But the thing is, these clubs who are our rivals for these positions, they don't put up with these type of players. Leicester wouldn't suffer at a Wobie. They wouldn't have a Sigurdsson. They'd have been binned off ages ago. And that's where they are because they don't put up with crap like we do. And they don't, well, one, they don't buy them in the first place. And two, if they do buy players who don't work out, they're quick to get rid of them. They don't just let them hang around.
Yeah, I don't think they offer the players the stupid wages we offered them, to be fair.
No, they don't. That's what I mean when they said they don't sign them in the first place. But if they do bring in a player who they decide they don't want for whatever reason, they don't try and persevere with them for so long like we've tried to do with Sigurdsson. There's still talk of that idiot getting a new deal, which I can't fathom that. Why would we give him a new deal when he's been here for 4 seasons and he's not even at... If you added up all his performances across 4 seasons, I probably couldn't name you. And even if I spent all day on it and I went through every single game he's ever played for Everton, I probably couldn't pick out 25 games that he's done well in across 4 seasons. And that's terrible. Do you know what I mean? Why are we talking about giving players a new deal like that? Why are we still trying to try a Wobie in different positions, trying to work out where we can play him? Why are we still... what am I trying... What's his name? I forget, it's gone on my head. But basically, why are we trying to get the... find places for certain players who are proven consistently that they're not good enough? They're not going to be able to get us in the top 6. So why don't we just cut bait with them? I know it's hard, as you said, because they're on big contracts. But if you don't sign those contracts in the first place, then it's much easier to get rid of them. And there's certain players. Well, I think we could, if we wanted to get rid of a Iwobi, someone would come in and offer us for him. I do, because I think he plays good enough. He has enough good games in the season to convince some stupid club, maybe down in London, like I don't know, a Palace or a Watford if they come back, or a Fulham, someone down there who have a bit of money to spend. We could probably get, or maybe a team abroad. There are certain players we probably can shift, but we don't shift them because the manager wants to keep using them and wants to keep giving them the benefits that's out, thinking that he can turn them into something when it's so obvious they can't be turned into anything. They're just not good enough.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I'm really struggling after watching that. Like, I just don't see. I feel like there's too much wrong with the club, to be honest, with the team, the mentality.
Behind the scenes, I don't think there's anything wrong with the club, because I think we are getting a lot right off the pitch finally. We have got the stadium on the horizon. It's definitely happening now. We know that. We've got a world-class manager who's won everything there is to win and is happy to be here and desperate to get us winning something. We've got an owner who is 100% committed and is willing to keep putting money in. We've got a director of football who hasn't been perfect, but he's made more good buys than bad buys, and it looks like he's learning some lessons. So there is a lot to be happy about off the pitch, but just in terms of the playing staff that we've got, there's just too many wasters in this squad, and until we gut it, we can't expect realistically to do anything. It could still be, sadly, 3 or 4 years before Everton can really go and challenge for anything. It could be that long before we can realistically expect Everton to make waves, because it's going to take that long to clear up all the dross that we're stuck with.
Yeah, it's hard to come to terms with that, but it's looking that way because I don't know. I feel like we won't shooting if we sign Sigurdsson into a new contract after watching what I've watched for the majority of this season.
Everyone knows how I feel about him. I don't want to just make this a Sigurdsson bashing video, but we can't be giving him the likes of new deals. We can't be keeping Iwobi around the squad and using him all the time because he's not good enough. We can't be keeping Bernard around the squad and using him for the same reason. We can't be. I'd still personally put Pickford in that. I know he's done well recently, but I'm still not a Pickford believer. I don't think Pickford is the long-term answer if we're going to be winning trophies and finishing in Europe consistently. There's just players there who are not at the level that not on Carlo Ancelotti's level, and not at the level that Machiri and Brands and everyone involved at the club behind the scenes. I keep saying they want to take Everton too, and we're at the point now where we've got to accept that. I think the fans accepted it a long time ago. Fans didn't take any convincing, but there's people at the club, like the coaches, who need to accept that it's not good enough and need to move these players on. And even if it does take core on this player into the office and being really cold, saying, you're not good enough, you're not playing under me, you want to play football, you need to go somewhere else, otherwise you're just going to sit here and rot. And it just seems like we don't do that enough.
Not at all. I think Tottenham Blues was just put up here. There's no question we need to finish in the European places. If not, it's been a massive disappointment. Coleman says that apparently in that interview, which is a lot more like it. But why he's got to go and say those exact words to everyone else in the dressing room? Because I thought he played well and gave it his all, but there's way too many who didn't. Like, no. He needs to go and tell that to them. I say every time I've been on a show on this channel in the last couple of weeks, every game we play asks us the question, how much do we want to play in Europe next season? And again, this time I said, oh, we're not really bothered. That's what that performance told me. That's what the Crystal Palace game told me. That's what 100%. That's what many a game we've seen recently has told me. I'm not saying, yes, we've had rotten luck with injuries, but other teams have too. And you can't rupture your attitude. You can't pull your attitude.
You can't just sit there and feel sorry for yourself, which is what we're doing, essentially.
Yeah, that's exactly what we're doing.
Feeling sorry for ourselves, and it's absolutely unacceptable, because one thing we will never, ever, ever do as Evertonians, or one thing we should never do, and one thing I'll never do personally as Evertonian is I will never sit here and just feel sorry for ourselves. I know it might sound like we're having a bit of a moan on this stream because it's
We're having a moan, but I think it's one of them.
Yeah.
We want to see some change. Obviously, we don't hold the cards, but some people do, and they need to start taking action.
Exactly.
And it's just like one of them. I want to see more convincing action. Obviously, this summer, we need to see a lot of these crabs that were mentioned. I know we keep naming the same names, but that's the naming the names because they're still here, still poisoning the club, draining the club of money, and they're still, getting away with it. We need to get rid of them.
Yeah, million percent, mate. 1,000,000%.
Yeah. Right. Anyway, I think that on that bombshell, I'm gonna leave it at that. I think this is I know it's not been the most positive show, but
we've tried our best, haven't we? But after the
tried our best, but it's just going to slip into an even deeper sense of depression. This show, so I'm gonna
after the game that awful on the eye, like what else could we really come on and say? Really, I wasn't really even in the mood to even come on and speak at all. I just wanted to go to bed. I'm quite tired, and that game's just near put me to sleep. So I was just thinking, should we even do this stream? What is there to really say other than what we've said over and over and over again for the last half an hour? But we've made our points. Hopefully,
it's one of them. I need to get it off my chest. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah. Oh, so we get to do it all again on Friday.
Don't we? So, thankfully, I'm not going to be here, so I'll be enjoying a meal in a restaurant for the first time in months. So I'll be steering well clear of the football, thank God. So, God forbid whoever takes my place on this stream on Friday night, you're going to have to be strong. But yeah, we have to just look ahead now to the game on Friday against Spurs. Big 6-pointer. We've just got to see what happens. Until then, guys, thanks for tuning in. Make sure you subscribe and, give the video a like if you love depressing content. And, for plenty more of that, make sure you subscribe. And until next time, thank you for watching on the Toffee Blues.